All right, all right. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Umoja, unity, unity, unity. This is Brother Haki Ami. I'm going live on behalf of Baltimore Community Chapter of NAN today, and it's a blessing and honor. I have joining me Miss Gwen Levi, and she is an executive board member for Baltimore Community Chapter of NAN. And what we're talking about today is a former state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, and a trip that we're actually doing, going to Freedom Plaza in Washington, D.C. But I definitely wanted to, just plug that Baltimore Community Chapter of NAN. Recently, we at Baltimore Community Chapter, we went to the National Action Network conference in New York, where Marilyn Mosby went a few days before us, and she was able to, get acknowledged from Attorney Benjamin Crump, as well as she did a radio interview there. So she stayed a day or two, just really connecting to individuals. And now this thing has, truly grown beyond many of the Baltimore activists and organizers, and now different chapters of National Action Network are, chiming in, partnering. Sister Nia 2X in DC, and Miss Gwen and Dr. Miriam Summers and the board here in Baltimore. And so we're putting this initiative forward, Warrior Women for Marilyn Mosby. And so I'll just bring Sister Gwen Levi on. She's up in the chat, and so she is an activist in the city of Baltimore and all throughout the country. You can Google her name, and read up on her amazing story. But she's an advocate for prison reform and prisoner rights, et cetera, et cetera. And so, so you've been looking at this case, Sister Gwen, over the past few months, and your background experience makes you feel like you want to, just take some action, right, as a woman and an advocate. So just share what you feel need to happen in this particular case, and I'll come in. I have the information, the more formal information here, but if you want to just open and share, just what you're feeling.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being an advocate, for being in our community, for being able to share this message. It's not so much about Marilyn Mosby as one woman, but Marilyn Mosby as one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not NAN. Sorry, the Baltimore Community Chapter is not necessarily endorsing anybody. What we're saying is that as a woman, what's being done to Miss Mosby could be done to any of us.
Right.
Miss Mosby has been here. When I first came home, the first place I met Miss Mosby was at a Moms Against Murdered Sons meeting.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to be at that kind of a meeting. She was there.
Wow.
A couple other community-based meetings, she was there. Didn't know anything about Miss Mosby, had to read up on her. And after I read up on her, I saw that she was a different kind of person, a different kind of prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't just committed to obeying the law. Although she followed the law, she obeyed the law, and she sent many people to prison. She also recognized that some of the laws were unfair, so she went back.
Right.
And looked at some of those laws, and she formed a, what do you call it, a sentencing and integrity committee.
Right.
She looked back at things that had been done, and she tried to straighten those things out. How often do we see that? So that's my initial concept of who Marilyn Mosby was. She was a community person. She was one of us. She just didn't have this office, you know. She just wasn't a prosecutor who sent people to jail. She was a woman, a mother. She was one of us. And as her story progressed and she got into this situation, I began to see that it wasn't fair.
Mm,
It just wasn't fair. You know,
right.
what was being done to Miss Mosby had not been done to many others who had did the same thing. What was
Right.
done to Miss Mosby was being done discriminately. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and as another black woman who understands the criminal justice system, I understand. No, I was not a target. I was guilty of what I went to prison for. That was not the case with Miss Mosby, I don't believe, and I think that she does not deserve to go to prison. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what she did or whatever they say she did, I'm not arguing with it. All I'm saying is let the punishment fit the crime, and it doesn't. Her
Right.
being sentenced to a possible, her being even threatened with a possible 40-year sentence is ridiculous.
Right. Well,
And
and that's
as a woman and as a mother, she has two young girls. What's going to happen? You know, I've seen how family breakups can happen. I've seen the devastation when the mother is removed from the family and incarcerated. I've been there. I've seen it. You know,
right.
it's not a pretty picture. And I want more women who have not been there to understand and understand the possibility. If you are a mother, or if you are a sister, a daughter, think about if this was one of your family relatives. Think about if she was in your family.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying is if each one of us starts to think about Miss Mosby as one of us, we'll take that action and we'll be on that bus Saturday. We'll go to Washington. We'll go down to Greenbelt on the 23rd when it's time for her sentencing. We need women. And so what we've done at NAN, at the Baltimore Community Chapter, is say we're becoming warrior women. We're not just going to be sit back and be angels.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be warrior angels, if any angels. We're
Right.
going to be warriors. We're going to fight. Miss Mosby is our first battle that we're taking on, and I want you to know that we are equipped to fight it.
Right. 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 Well, let me just go through, and I hope we do have flyers circulating around. There's an online petition at justiceformarilynmosby.com. There's been several recent interviews that have been done with Angela Rye as well as attorney Benjamin Crump. Uh, there's been Joy Reid rather recently, had a big interview with her. And then, and I don't know if you saw this, Miss Gwen, April Ryan, who is a White House news correspondent, she
Yes.
actually asked the Jean Claude, I'm sorry, I don't have her name in front of me, I can't remember, the Haitian White House press secretary, she asked all of the, the press secretary in front of millions, everybody that watches the White House press secretary about the Marilyn Mosby case directly. Her answer was something to the effect that she wanted, well, this is a DOJ, Department of Justice issue. And so we're saying that, we question the Department of Justice's objectivity. And I'll give some examples. And I have this form here, and you can read and sign the petition as well on justiceformarilynmosby.com as well. But she was convicted of lying that she suffered adverse financial hardship, but during the pandemic, after government failed to define actually what a financial hardship term actually meant, there was not any clarity on that. And then over 739 other Baltimoreans got early retirement the exact same way. And three of them were in her office. She was the only one investigated for this.
And
This is
and how
selective.
can
Hmm.
I hate to interrupt you, but that's the main point: the selective prosecution of her. And we as women, we got to keep reminding ourselves this is happening too often. Not just here. You see it happening in Georgia. It's happening up upstate New York. It's happening. To our female leaders, to our female women. We have to stand behind them. We cannot let this continue to happen because it could be one of us next. You know.
Right, right. And I mean, just maybe read off one or two more bullets. I mean, but there are several bullets in this. So they spent millions of dollars on this case. I just want to make that known. And then the exact state where the alleged fraud took place, which was Florida, with any certainty was not proven. So the court may not have even had jurisdiction. So that's like you doing something somewhere else allegedly, and but somebody in Maryland say you did this in Florida. So it's really a weird type of injustice if you look at it, like how much of an overreach that that the Department of Justice actually entail to find something to look and find something. And then there were cases of the jurors. Someone at the one of the guards at the place saying that the B got what she deserved. So there was a few, for instance, things that went on in this case to make you realize that this is like, you know, there was a
But
lot of political targeting for her.
right, she's actually on trial for standing up for us.
Right,
For some of the things that she done previously, like arresting the 33 policemen. Uh,
right.
for some of the things she did with the what's that, the gun task force, she actually
Hmm.
was a target. And we've got to keep that in mind that they set out to destroy this lady. They are destroying her physically, mentally. You know, her family. It's just atrocious what is going on. It just doesn't make it makes sense because we know that the Department of Justice is a tool, you know. But
Right,
and I'm saying women, of course, we need all the men's support. You all have been great support for her, but now we need you ladies to show up. We need warrior women. We need women who are willing to step out there and say, "Hey, you can't do this to my sister," because that's who she is. She is our sister,
right,
and we can't allow her to be sent away, separated from her family. So what we're asking is that Biden can pardon her before sentencing. President
hmm,
Biden can pardon her. That's the ask that we're asking. President Biden, please pardon Marilyn Mosby before her sentencing date on May 23rd.
right,
That's the ask. That's what we're going to Washington, D.C. Saturday for. That's what we're getting on that bus
right,
to make sure, as,
yeah,
as warrior women, as women, as supporters of Maryland, that we let him know he can do this. This is not the first time I've been to Washington to petition. We petitioned clemency for women a couple of weeks ago.
mm,
A couple of weeks ago, I went with the National Council of Returning Citizen and National Council of Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. They had a big rally. We petitioned for women who are incarcerated in the federal and state system and asked for clemency and asked Biden to pardon these women before Mother's Day.
mm,
We're
right,
waiting for a response, President Biden. We're asking you, President Biden, if you or any of your staff or any of your staff listening to us, please let the president know we will want this petition to be received by someone Saturday when we come to Washington, D.C. We are trying to make sure that they understand this is not just a done deal. Her
mm,
conviction is not a done deal. Please, we do not have to send this lady to jail. There are other options.
right. Right. Yes. Like what normally happens, like fines and things like that nature. If you pull money, your own money, not someone else's money, not the state's money. So it's just really a sad case all around. So I'm not gonna hold you up, but so the meeting for those that want to meet in DC is 12 noon, 1325 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, DC. Freedom
That's
Plaza.
Freedom Plaza.
I was actually at the I was in DC last night, but and but we do have a bus leaving at 10 a.m. So we're encouraging loading will commence at 9:30. 9:30. That's 225 West Franklin Street at the Amtrak Park and Ride. 225 West Franklin Street, Baltimore, Maryland. 21223. Loading will commence 9:30 a.m. Bus will depart 10 a.m. So definitely. And it's election time. Early voting is going on. So, I'll be going up to a few polls right after I get off of here and sharing this vision with a few other individuals and hoping that we can galvanize some support for this. But if you are watching this, do definitely share some of the Joy Reid interviews, and I keep resharing them. I keep resharing them. The Joy Reids and the Carl Nelson show, as well as the what is it? That small clip with April Ryan. Shout out to April Ryan, Baltimore Morgan State, for
Yes.
putting that front and center in front of the world. So they can't pretend that they didn't know. The White House press, they record. The world actually is watching this now and will be watching this now. They know something is going on. And so it was beautiful to have April Ryan right there to put that front and center. So it's our job to keep building that momentum. And I just watched a film, Miss Gwen, on Kimba Smith.
Hey, that's my girl. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen. Nan is going to bring that film. Baltimore Community Chapter is bringing that film to Baltimore soon. So listen for
Oh,
that.
great.
Yeah, we're bringing it to Baltimore. We're going to hold it
Yes. Thank you.
real
No,
soon.
good. Yes, let's make that happen. I think it's essential. I mean, I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, so just the whole Hampton environment, I was immersed in that environment at that time. And so it's been, as I see in the story, and I didn't recall the details. I was young, so I may not have been paying attention to issues, but how all of the uh, different organizations came together. The Deltas really took that case and sort of pushed it. They saw that it was an injustice, and they
Yes,
put and so I'm pleased, that Marilyn Mosby recently spoke at a what's called a Pan Hellenic Council in Baltimore. This is the Divine Nine, all of the black elect. I'm sorry, the black fraternities and sororities in the Baltimore, state of Maryland area were present, and so I'm saying that and I text Maryland, like, I saw you at the Panhellenic Council, and you know, I, you know, I know that there's some powerful sisters after the Joy
yes,
Reid
they
interview,
are. Yes,
and
they are.
after the the April Ryan thing. I'm like, look, everybody see this now. I'm like, it ain't Haki, Miss Gwen, Bill Gooden, Sheena Smith, Tyrone. It ain't all us now, but we gonna keep this engine going. so that those of us that have people that can call President Biden on the phone and be like, what's going on? Or Reverend Al Sharpton can have a real meeting. A matter of fact, and that's what I need to do. I'm like, Reverend Al,
Yes, let's have a meeting with him, Reverend Al. Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah,
yeah,
we
bring
need
it.
all of our NAN chapters to ask Reverend Al to have this meeting because he's met her now and he sees what her plight is, and for him to be able to intercede on her behalf would be just the thing we need to push this over.
I think you just broke, Miss Gwen.
Oh, I said for him to be able to intercede on her behalf would be just the thing we need to push this over. Biden, we need you. We really, really need you. I was incarcerated with Kimber. As a matter of fact,
Oh
I
wow.
was there when she went home, and she became an activist on behalf of the people who she left behind, me included. So
Mm,
we appreciate her. Yes, yes, I follow her diligently.
wow. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay.
Yes, and
So
look for that film to be shown here in Baltimore real soon.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody. So if you are interested, definitely go to justiceformarilynmosby.com. I'll just put up my phone number just in case if
And
anybody.
you can put mine up too, Haki.
Go
That's
ahead, put it up.
443 six
Hmm.
nine five 6480. That's 443 695 4480. Become a warrior woman. Call me. Call
All
me.
right.
We need
Yeah.
we need you.
All right, beautiful. You got that number, so definitely we appreciate everyone for joining. Share, like, and subscribe this. Let's get it out to everybody. And looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday in DC and first in Baltimore. If you're in Baltimore, if you want to go on down there, make it happen. Let's free Marilyn Mosby. So thank you, Miss Gwen, and I'll
All
talk to
right.
you.
Talk to you later. See you over at one of those voting polls.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Bye bye.